Hey guys, welcome back to the Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD walkthrough. This is part B of Chapter 11, and we are covering the Wind Temple. The entire thing. Longest dungeon in the game. So, consequently, this will be the longest video in the walkthrough. So first up, take Makar into the next room. Jump down, and there's going to be a Wizrobe. You can take him out in one shot with a fire arrow. And then a Skulltula. So, or not Skulltula, a Stalfos. This Stalfos might be a little bit more difficult to defeat because he's kind of in a tight spot, or in like a tight space. I wasn't able to one cycle him, but it's not a huge deal if you can't, because he's still pretty slow. He's pretty much harmless. Then you want to make sure you pop open the top of that jar, or pot, the warp pot. It's the one for the beginning of the dungeon, just in case you have to come back here for whatever reason. Then you can take control of Makar using the command melody. Go ahead and toss a seed into both of the little soft soil spots. That is Makar's like special ability. Medli had her, I guess, mirror. She can reflect light. Makar can plant little happy tree seeds, and they are little happy trees because they smile and have eyes. Then bring Makar all the way over to the other side and have him sit on the switch so that you can hover over with your Deku Leaf. So the chest there contains a joy pendant, so it's pretty much useless. You don't really have to get it, but for the walkthrough's sake, I'm getting it. If you have not done the joy pendant quest yet, then I guess it's useful to you, but... Oh, sorry, never mind, this is an orange rupee. I thought, my mistake. Again, still pretty useless though. But there are a couple chests with joy pendants in here. That's why I thought it was a joy pendant. I thought the 100 rupees was a different chest. My mistake. But whether or not it's 100 rupees or a joy pendant, they're both pretty useless to us right now. We still will have to use rupees in the next chapter, but we'll only need about 1,000, a little bit over 1,000 of them. So what we have right now is an obscene amount of cash that we probably won't use. But what I was saying about the joy pendants, if you don't have joy pendants, or if you haven't gotten the 40 joy pendants you need for the treasure chart and the cabana isle, what have you been doing this whole game, really? Anyways, head into the next room with Makar, and there are some Armos here. You can use your bow to stun them and then hit them in the back. If you remember from the Tower of the Gods, we'll be facing quite a few of these enemies in the dungeon, so remember this trick, that you can shoot them in the front to stun them. Then use your Deku Leaf on the, I guess, little windmill thing in the middle, and pick up Makar and head across. Now to open the door here, you have to play the command melody and have Makar plant some seeds. Now that the door is open, you can pick up Makar and head to the next room. Gotta be honest with you guys, Makar is not my favorite character in this game. He's very slow, and he's kind of annoying to deal with, but at least compared to Medli. In this room, you want to fly up with Makar and hit all of the, or plant seeds and all the little soft soil spots to open the door. Yeah, that's another thing. Makar does not fly quite as well as Medli did, so sometimes controlling him can be a nuisance in the air. Especially, you'll see later on in the dungeon. He can be quite annoying to try and control. But once you have planted all 3 seeds, the door to your right will open. Also, the door at the top of the area will open, but some wall masters will take Makar. Thank goodness. Don't want to deal with that brat. Just kidding. We'll get him back, don't worry. Head into the next room, and you'll see it's kind of a wide open area with a couple P-hats. You can take out the P-hats with just 1 arrow. Also, the prison for Makar is right here, so if he's ever taken by a wall master, that's where he'll end up. You can go over and talk to Makar, but there's nothing we can really do to help him right now, so just head straight across the room. The Armos Knights on the other side, you don't actually have to defeat, so I wouldn't worry about them. They're not really in the way right now. They'll be more of a nuisance later. Now in this room, take care of the P-hats right away, because otherwise they'll get annoying. Run past the spike, or the blade trap when it's not moving, and then jump down. There will be a wall master here, or a floor master, sorry. Be careful of that. And then you can use your Deku Leaf to hit the propeller and make it go up. On the other side, there is a floor master again. Defeat him, and then standing on the far side of the room, use your Deku Leaf on the propeller yet again to bring down the large door. Then you want to step on the spring, use your boots, and you want to face the left wall of this room first. And here is where we can open a joy pendant. Open the chest for a joy pendant. But like I said, these joy pendants are pretty much useless to us now. Then you can jump onto the main platform. You'll see there's a big tablet there, but there's nothing, big stone tablet there. There's nothing we can really do about it right now because we don't have Makar. So keep that in the back of your head, and then head through the next door on your right. So this room can be kind of annoying as well. Make sure you've got magic. If you just have the small magic meter, this room might be kind of difficult for you. You want to fly into the cyclone and then head up, so you can press the switch, which will lower a platform for you. Then head down and head to this next part of the room where there will be a Wizrobe that you're going to want to take care of. So unfortunately, playing with the Wii U Pro controller is harder because aiming is a little bit stiffer, in my opinion. Anyways, I'd rather play with the gamepad because I think it's easier to aim. But so when the Wizrobes are at far distances, they can be a little bit harder to aim at if you're using a Pro controller, in my opinion. Then you want to fly into the cyclone and head off to the side of the room. You can check the map to see where I'm going, but this will get you the dungeon map so you can see all of the other rooms we haven't been to yet. Then go ahead. There isn't much for magic here, so if you are low on magic, if you only have the single, or if you have the small bar of magic, it might be hard to get back. So if you ever do fall off or you need to get back, you just have to head back to the first platform and climb up the vines there. now back at the second cyclone, you want to head through on your right, through the little passages in the mesh, until you get to another platform. On the other side, there will be another Wizrobe, and again, aiming can be kind of difficult. Make sure you're paying attention to where the fireballs are shooting. One shot from a fire arrow will take him out, though. Also watch out for the Peahats, because they will come after you, and they will be kind of annoying. Once you've taken care of the Wizrobe, you can hop off and fly to the next cyclone and get to the next platform. Then you can go through the door. So in here you'll notice you're back in the main room with Makar. There is also a warp jar here, so make sure you unlock that, because that is the middle warp jar for this place. Then you want to hop on the little switch, put on your iron boots, and it will open up a whole new world for you to go into. So hop down using your Deku Leaf at the last second to avoid damage, and then go through the door that is not locked. Obviously, since we don't have a key. So in this room there are 5 little spots to use your iron boots to fall down in. Head all the way over to the left, and a bunch of red choo-choos will fall. So make sure you take these guys out. And then there's some block puzzle to do. So there are some Armos statues here, but don't worry, they won't attack you yet. And the keyword there is yet. So anyways, you want to push the block with the spring on it so that it's 2 squares above the, I guess, northernmost spike. There's a little floor guide, I guess you could call it. There's a tile that doesn't look like the rest of the floor that you want to put it on, basically. Then push the other block so it's adjacent to that, to the spring block, so that you can climb up onto the spring, and use your iron boots to get up to the top and open the chest for a small key. This will stop all of the spikes going in this room. However, we're not done here yet. You may not have the compass yet, but if you did, it would show that there's another treasure chest in here. So, now head to the next little cracked floor and use your iron boots. After you do this one, nothing appears. Then head up back onto the spring and back up. Head to the 3rd cracked floor, use your iron boots. And this time, there are 2 floor masters to deal with. So you can use your boomerang, arrows, and sword, or a combination of whatever to get the job done. Luckily, floor masters aren't that difficult to defeat. Just make sure they don't bring you back to the beginning of the dungeon, because then you'll have to go back all the way to this room, and it might be kind of annoying. Then head to the 4th cracked floor and open that up, and now the Armos will attack you. So you can stun them all, and I decided to put the Hurricane Spin to use, although You don't really need to, there's only 3 of them. But I figured I'd give it some screen time, because we won't be using it much. It's not absolutely that helpful. But after you finish those guys up, you can head back up and destroy the 5th cracked door, or cracked floor, and then head back up. This will reveal some green choo-choos. Nothing you can't handle though, so you can take care of them. You don't even have to kill them all. So head up and open the treasure chest for treasure chart number 35. So this is an optional chest. It's not anything interesting like the compass, but it is treasure chart number 35, and I recommend that you get this one if you're going for 100%. So now you can head out of this room and head back across to the room where the locked door is, and we will fight the mini-boss, which is a gold Wizzrobe, or a yellow Wizzrobe. So this is the only time in the game you fight this guy, so be sure to take a pictograph of him if you are completing the figurines, because this is the only time in the game you can get that pictograph. So what he'll do is he'll create enemies, namely in the beginning a Wizzrobe and a Darknut. But he creates a special type of Wizzrobe that creates smaller enemies. So one tactic you can use, and I would suggest focusing most of your attention on the golden or yellow Wizzrobe, the actual mini-boss, because you can maybe take care of the Wizzrobe that he creates, but if you just kill the enemies, he will just create more enemies for you to defeat, and it can be really annoying. So if you leave the enemies be, P-hats are not that upsetting to deal with, and the Darknut will just kind of follow you around, and you can dodge the flames that he sends pretty easily. He won't create any more enemies, and basically then you're just shooting arrows at him, unless he appears on the floor. I tried to get this to work, but it didn't. You can one-shot him by using an ice arrow on the ground and then smashing him with the skull hammer. Unfortunately, he never appeared over the ground for me to do that, but that is one way you can take him out. So once you defeat him, then you just gotta take out the rest of the baddies in this room. I would focus on the Wizzrobes first, because they're the most annoying, really. Once you've taken care of all the bad guys, a chest will appear, revealing the dungeon item, the Hookshot. So now we have finally gotten all of the items in the game, for the most part. We'll see in the next chapter that there's another optional thing that we can get from the Savage Labyrinth, but these are all of the basically main items in the game. So you can hookshot to the target, which has the peg, then use a skull hammer to put the peg in, and head out the door. So now we have a way to climb back up to the top, and now we have a way to rescue Makar as well. So what you're going to want to do when you head back out to this main room is kill the Peahats right away, or as many as you can, because they're just going to get annoying as you try to climb up. Then just head over to the lowest platform and hookshot onto the target so that you can get up on the platform. Then you just want to continue this process until you can't climb with your hookshot anymore. Once you get to that point, you're going to have to use your Deku Leaf to fly across to the opposite side of the room. And then continue using your hookshot and iron boots, as there are some springs, as well as your Deku Leaf to navigate all the way back up. Once you're back at the top, use your hookshot to get over to Makar's cell. Also, the treasure chest here that you can open up is, in fact, the compass. So one of the reasons why this dungeon takes so long is because you're constantly targeting targets with your hookshot, and that just kind of slows things up, really. So keep that in mind as you're playing through this dungeon, or as you begin to play through this dungeon. It's going to take some time. The other dungeons were pretty short, but this one, you're going to have to spend quite a bit more time to get through, especially if you want to get all of the, or both of the treasure charts that are in this room, or that are in this dungeon. So once you get back up to Makar's cell, you want to put on your iron boots and at the same time use your hookshot on the target on the statue, and that will pull the statue down. That's kind of what Makar was hinting at when he said you needed to be as heavy as the Deku Tree. Then you can open the chest for another Joy Pendant and another useless item, unfortunately, unless you haven't completed that quest yet. Then it's not useless at all. Then you can pick up Makar, and because I hate him so much, send him down to his doom. No, not really. But you do want to throw him all the way down, or use the command melody to get him all the way down, because there are two little soft soil spots that you can plant trees at. Also, watch out for the Peahats, because they will block your control on Makar if they hit him. So once you've planted both these trees, it will start a cycle with a fan in the middle that will be on and off. So now there's a few ways we can go. First of all, though, we're going to go back the way we started going through the dungeon. Now, it doesn't really matter what order you do these in, because, well, they're different ways. So you can use the fan to get Makar up to up really high. However, we want him to be at the door facing out of the big room, it would be to the right of his cell. So to get over there, you can use the Deku Leaf when the fan is going to raise Link up, or you can just jump down on the platform below and use your hook shot. Then pick up Makar and head through the door. So now there are Wizrobes here, or a Wizrobe to be exact. But this is the type of Wizrobe that will create small enemies, so watch out for that, as well as shoot firebolts. This guy, it takes 2 fire arrows to kill him, so be mindful of that. Then you can use the hook shot on the little happy trees that you made before. Don't worry, there won't be a floor master at the top. Once you've gotten to the top, you can play the command melody and get Makar up to the top as well. Once you've done that, you can head to the next door, and this room will look ominously familiar, except there are some of the blue bubbles here. So these guys, if you recall, you can't touch them without them, or you can't really hurt them unless they don't have the blue magic around them. But what you can do is use your hook shot now to pull them towards you, which will, in fact, just get rid of their blue fog or magic or whatever it is surrounding them. So then you can easily dispatch them. You're going to have to use Makar here to create some more trees so that you can climb to the top with your hook shot. Just be aware that you'll probably have to defeat these blue bubbles while you're climbing. But now that we have a hook shot, they're pretty easy. Note that there is a floor master at the top here, so when you're flying up with Makar, don't fly near the top left part of the top platform. But if you stay near the tree, the floor master won't come at you, so don't worry about that. Now you can just head through the door here, and we're back in the main room. So go ahead and put Makar on one switch, and then have Link stand on the other switch. This will open up the bottom of the fan so that we can get to a new part of the dungeon, as well as open up the platform to this area, so now we can go through. However, there's still a couple more things we can do before we start heading towards the boss. One is to get the treasure chest to the left of Link. So when the fan's going, you can hop off and use your Deku Leaf to jump into the cyclone. you can open up this treasure chest for another joy pendant. Yeah, another useless item. Unless you haven't completed the quest yet, in which case you're gonna need to have at least 20 of them by the next chapter. Once you've searched for magic in the grass here and realized that there isn't any, you can hop back into the cyclone and head to the platform that's a little bit higher than all of them on this level. There's a door up here that you'll want to go through. You might want to bring Makar along too, just so that you don't get lost with him or you don't lose him anywhere. Although if you do go through this door, he'll just be back in this room. You don't need him for this next room though, so it's up to you whether or not you want to bring him with. If you do, just play the command melody and bring him into the room. In here, there will be 7 Armo statues that you're going to want to take out. I used my my hurricane spin technique. However, that didn't go as planned, so you can use whatever method you like to take these guys out. Once you've taken them out, a door will open and a trapdoor will open, and, well, not really a trapdoor, but another door will open, and you can open the chest for a small key. So now you can head out back to the main room. Now we want to go through the doors on the floor where Makar was being held. Remember when we saw the stone tablet earlier? We want to go back there, except now with Makar, so that we can open up that stone tablet. So now you want to hop down there to it's the door that has the Armos Knights in front of it. So go ahead and take care of the Armos Knights, otherwise they'll just become a nuisance. And then play the command melody to get Makar over here. So now we're doing basically the same thing we did before. Hop down with Makar. Remember, there is a wall master, or a floor master. Keep calling them wall masters. A floor master here. That there are a couple of them down here that I almost forgot about, and Makar almost was stolen from me, which would not have been good. So again, use your Deku Leaf to hit the propeller, and then head to the other side of the bottom part of the room. Use your Deku Leaf to hit the propeller again, and then hop on the spring to get up. Then you can just play the command melody to get Makar to wherever you want him to go. Which, in this case, is right next to the stone tablet. So once he's next to the stone tablet, make sure that's when you play it. He has to be near the stone tablet, so. After you've done that, it will reveal a door, and you can head through. I suggest with Makar, well, actually, even without Makar, it's not going to matter too much, because Makar will just show up at the beginning of this room if you go on without him. So it's actually probably better if you don't take him with. I did just for simplicity's sake, but if you don't take him with, it's not a big deal. You'll have to fight 3 Darknuts, 2 white and 1 black. Fortunately, I can't tell any difference between the black Darknut, other than maybe it takes more hits to defeat him. He's not any faster or harder than the other guys, really. One thing that I did find out at this fight is that the armor that the Darknuts are wearing, if you hit it enough, it will eventually just go away, so that's something to note. If you do take their helmets off, you can just hit their armor straight up and it will just go away, instead of using a parry attack or going behind them to hit it. I guess another difference between the black Darknuts is that they have a shield that they actually use, so. And they do take more hits to defeat, so. Luckily, as with any Darknut battle with this many Darknuts, they will eventually start hitting each other and helping you out. If you already have the Hurricane Spin, which costs 10 Knight's Crest to Orca, you don't need to worry about picking up these guys' Knight's Crest. However, if you don't have it, this is a great place to get more. Then you can open up the chest for the big key. So now, we have everything we need to head for the boss. So when you're heading back in this room, a quick tip to get to the other side is just to hit the propeller, and then it's basically a floor that you can just walk across. Now that you're back in the main room, you can just jump down with Makar. Then, before the propeller starts turning, you want to hop down into the blades. Otherwise, or between the blades. Otherwise, they will hurt you if they are moving. So once you're down here, if you want to get back up, there is a switch that you can press and a little elevator will come up. But since we've gotten everything up to this point, you can just head to the next room. So this room's kind of hard. There are 2 Stalfos and a Wizrobe in this room, as well as a green Bokoblin and a blue Bokoblin that are hiding, and you have to goad out of their hiding place to even see them. But we'll take care of them after the Stalfos and the Wizrobe. The Wizrobe is one of the new varieties that will send small enemies at you, so watch out for that. Luckily the Stalfos are slow, so it's probably best to just take out the Wizrobe first, or maybe one Stalfos and then take out the Wizrobe. But since the Stalfos are so easy, you might just want to take them out right away anyways, so they're not getting in your way. Once you've defeated them, you want to use your hookshot to get to the highest platform in the room with a iron boot switch. So in the video you'll notice there's an obvious cut between those 2 points, and that's because I forgot about the green and blue bokoblins and where to find them. My notes just said kill all enemies, and so it's kind of sneaky the way they hide them. So once you've pushed the switch with your iron boots, you're going to want to turn around, and you'll see there's a little like face statue that you use to get to the platform itself. Put on your iron boots and then use your hookshot on that and it'll pull it off to reveal a green bokoblin. Then you can take the green bokoblin out. And hop down to the bottom. There's another face statue, and it is the one just to the right of the door we want to go through, if you're facing the door that we want to go through. And there's a blue bokoblin there. So you can either hookshot your way up there or release the blue bokoblin there and take him out with arrows. Whichever way is up to you. Once you defeat all the enemies in this room though, a treasure chest will appear, and this is treasure chart number 5, which I highly recommend getting. So, especially if you're going for 100%, you kind of have to get it then, but even if you're just playing the game through, I highly recommend getting this one. Then pick up a car and head through the door that we want to go through. In this room there are 2 Armos Knights and some green bokoblins, so take those out. And then play the command melody and have Makar fly over the gusting winds and have him plant a little happy tree. Be careful of the floor master on the other side, so don't have Makar go too far past his tree, otherwise he'll get caught by the floor master. Once you do that, the winds will go away and you can hookshot over to the tree and take out the floor master and the Peahats on the other side. Then you can head through the door after you cross the bridge. So this next room is kind of annoying, and for the sake of you guys watching, I sped it up because it could be really boring to watch. Basically, it's a neat puzzle and it's a tricky puzzle, and I really like it. But basically what you want to do is push the far right block so that it's blocking both of the blade traps that are close to you. Then you want to push one of the blocks all the way up into the little ditch right before the blade trap. Then push the last block so that it goes over the block that you pushed into the ditch to block the last blade trap. You have to put your iron boots on while you're doing all this. Finally, go pick up Makar with your iron boots on and bring him all the way to the end. So you can actually do that without using the iron boots if you just roll, but you won't be able to roll if you have Makar, so that's why you need the iron boots. There. And you need Makar to play the Wind God's aria. So go ahead and destroy the tablet, which will reveal the next room, or the next part of this room, which is just the preparation for the boss door. Also make sure you open up the pot, the warp jar, or warp pot, whatever. And you can get whatever goodies you can find in the pots. Just be sure to have your hookshot equipped. So once you're in the boss room, you'll see a bunch of sand as you go forward. You just want to jump down into it, and which will commence the boss fight. There'll be a large worm thingy that comes up out of the sand, and this boss is Molgera. He has amazing boss battle music. I'll let you guys listen to it a little bit after I describe what to do. He's not a very difficult boss, much like the rest of the bosses in this game. But essentially he has two attacks. One is to come up from the sand all the way and then try and hit you on his way back into the sand. And the other one is to stick his head out from the sand and try and eat you that way. So what you want to do to this guy is head over to where you see the hole in the sand. His head will pop up and you'll see his tongue come out, or whatever it is. Use your hook shot to get that close to you and then wail on it with your sword. After you do that, he'll create these little mini Molgera things. You want to stay away from these. Essentially what Molgera is going to do is he's going to try and come at you with his next head attack. So as long as you run away from these things, they won't get in your way. Essentially their purpose is to mess up your Z targeting. But if you stay away from them, or stay like on the other side of Molgera than they are, the game will have no choice but to target Molgera's tongue. Molgera will come up out of the sand after the second cycle. So then he'll do his head thing after he goes back down, and then after that, so after the third cycle, he'll come back up again. You should be able to 4-cycle him if you wail on his tongue the right way. So on his third cycle, the little things might get in your way, but just keep strafing and going around and you should be okay. So now I'm going to let you guys listen to the music, because that's basically all I have to say about Molgera, and this music is pretty awesome. So once you've defeated Molgera, make sure you grab your heart container, and then you can head in the middle to get the full power of the Master Sword revived. And that is the end of Chapter 11, guys. So 2 more chapters left in the walkthrough. We're almost there. Next chapter we will be finishing up every side quest, and we'll be getting the Triforce of Courage. So if that's your cup of tea, go ahead and keep going to the next chapter. But until then, I'll see you guys then. So, have a great day, everyone.